Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. We have some news, but before we get into that, I just want to take a minute and ask you guys to make sure that if you like this type of content, that you hit that subscribe button as well as the bell next to it to be notified of every video I post here on the channel. And if you could do me a huge favor, give this video a thumbs up. That helps the channel out greatly every time you do that. Anyway, on with the news. The very first thing that I have is from Rebore, and this is a very interesting work that they are currently in the process of creating. This is something that I feel like is actually really cool, really interesting, and another reason why Rebore stays fresh is because they're always coming up with new and interesting ideas like this. They are currently working on a 1/35th scale posable T-Rex animatronic puppet. And it looks really cool. It quite clearly is based off of, you know, like a Jurassic Park style T-Rex. That's kind of what you would expect being, you know, a T-Rex animatronic like that. And it looks really neat. Again, I think this is something that's going to be very cool, very different from your usual dinosaur collectible. And that's something Rebore has been very good at doing for a very long time, is, you know, staying creative when it comes to their releases, not just releasing dinosaur figures. They're always kind of thinking outside the box and coming up with new and innovative ideas, and that's definitely what we have here. And again, as far as Rebore goes, we also have a look at the Diplodocus and some of the work that they are currently putting in on this model, again showing off the incredible skin texture. And this may be one of the most detailed models Rebore has released to date. You know, looking at just these images here alone, getting an idea of what the skin texture looks like. As they said, it is an excruciating pain in the butt to get all of those tiny scales sculpted individually, but they really are doing a phenomenal job on this, and I think the final product will definitely be a huge payoff for them, because who doesn't love a good sauropod, especially a Diplodocus? So I can see this being a very successful release for them, and I know for sure I will definitely be picking one up. And then as far as the Ancestors line goes, we have a really cool Tyrannosaurus model they are releasing. I think the sculpt of this looks beautiful, honestly, and it's nice to see another pretty large release from them, as the last few have been a little bit smaller, like they teased the young Tyrannosaurus Rex based on the Prehistoric Planet version, and they also had shown off a, you know, the Pyroraptor. So some smaller releases, now they're back to bigger ones, and you can really see that it does sport a pretty impressive size just next to this Rebore Tyrannosaurus. You can really see again that the size of it is quite impressive. Gorgeous looking sculpt as always. This is currently up for pre-order, and you can have again the painted or unpainted versions of it. So I will include a link in the description to where you can contact the Ancestors line on Instagram, or if you would like to pre-order this and you do not have Instagram or any social media, you can contact me and I can contact them for you. And then as far as the Beasts of the Mesozoic line goes, we have a look at what the paint schemes will look like for their upcoming Utahraptor, and something that's pretty interesting that I don't think I was aware of prior is the fact that there are going to be two different paint variants of this, because there are two different releases, one for the Beasts of the Mesozoic line and one for the Cyberzoic line. So you could see some slight differences between the two, which I think that is super cool, because that's going to give you the ability to have, you know, almost like a male and female type of a mating pair for their Utahraptor, which is something I actually would have loved to have seen them do through the course of their releases, would be have like male and female. It's something that nobody really does, so it would have been neat to see that actually take place. But you can kind of, you know, take this as one of those instances where you can kind of have like a male and female, and I think both of the paint schemes look phenomenal. And we also have a look at our Cyberzoic Triceratops in package, and it looks awesome. Of course, it looks awesome. Being Beasts of the Mesozoic, it always does look awesome, but the artwork through the course of the box is incredible and definitely very vintage, very nostalgic, and as a whole, it really does look like another phenomenal release from the Beasts of the Mesozoic line, again this time for the Cyberzoic line, and it's really cool to in general see some Cyberzoic figures in box, and something that I personally cannot wait to get a hold of is this repainted version of the Triceratops. Having the original Triceratops and being so massive and impressive, I can't wait to see what it looks like next to this alternate greenish version for the Cyberzoic line. And then as far as March 90, I previously had told you guys about that really cool store that was selling some awesome dinosaur merchandise, all sorts of things on there, from cups to shirts, all kinds of really cool stuff. Well, they are actually having a sale through the month of Jurassic June. They have a sale of 30% off all of their items on their Etsy shop. So if you were interested in them prior, maybe just didn't want to pull the trigger, now would definitely be a good time to head on over there and take a gander at their shop, see what you're interested in, maybe pick some stuff up while it's on sale. Of course, I'll include a link in the description to where you can check out their Etsy shop and place an order for some awesome dinosaur products today. And then as far as Prime 1 goes, they have officially fully unveiled their Giganotosaurus. Now this is another of those Prime collectible statues like we've seen in the past, which I think is really cool, but honestly, I don't know that I have much faith in the line moving forward. As the last few releases from them, I actually had pre-ordered, but I ended up having to cancel because the shipping prior was $30, and they recently upped the price of shipping to like $123 or something. Like, there's a lot more money now added onto it. So in my opinion, to pay like $232 or something along those lines, what it was going to come out to for the Carnotaurus, I was not going to pay that. That's just way too much for this type of quality. So I canceled both of those pre-orders. I'm going to still get the Carnotaurus through Big Bad Toy Store when it comes into stock, but after seeing a few images of it recently, I was really let down by the paint apps on that. And the paint apps of the Rex, although I thought they looked, pretty good for what they were, a little sloppy, they weren't as great as what we had seen on the promotional images of it. And now seeing this Giganotosaurus, and after the few issues I've had when it comes to the shipping prices recently, I'm definitely not going to be pre-ordering this one, at least on the Prime 1 site. If it comes to Big Bad Toy Store, I might, but I really have lost most of my hope when it comes to Prime 1 and their paint jobs, and the ability to actually deliver a paint job that looks even remotely similar to what we see on their promotional images. But regardless, the sculpt I think looks pretty cool, and is definitely a neat version of the Giganotosaurus from Jurassic World Dominion. However, I'm just going to wait it out for the Nanmu version, I think, most likely, as I know Nanmu will deliver on the goods in every aspect. And then as far as Takara Tomy goes, and thank you to Collect Jurassic for this information, but we have a very interesting Jurassic World train coming from them. You can see there's a T-Rex in the train, as well as a Velociraptor, probably Velociraptor Blue, I think, maybe. But not exactly something I'm all that interested in, but I did want to let you guys know that this is something on the way, because I'm sure someone out there might be interested in picking up this very interesting train. And then as far as Mattel goes, Big Bad Toy Store has just recently put up a pre-order for a very interesting minifigure line. They are called Discovery Packs, and there are 12 different dinosaur Discovery Packs. And you can see as we go through here, you basically have like a dinosaur buried in, I guess, what looks to be sand, and you kind of dig them out. And it's pretty interesting, pretty unique, something they haven't done with the minifigure line before. It is definitely nice to see Mattel putting so much work into the minifigure line this time, because I really always have loved the minifigures, and I felt like they needed more love. Even during the Fallen Kingdom line, they just were incredibly underrated, so it is definitely nice to see Mattel putting more work into this line. If you are interested in checking these out, I will include a link in the description to Big Bad Toy Store where you can head on over there and check those Discovery Packs out. And then the final thing, and thanks to Collect Jurassic for these images, but we have a much better look at that upcoming set, that upcoming Extreme Damage set featuring a Spinosaurus, the Albertosaurus, and an Atrociraptor. And definitely really cool to see this a little bit better, because the image that we had seen prior was a little hard to make out how nice the figures were. I will say I absolutely love the Spinosaurus. The paint job on this Spinosaurus looks so much better than most of the Mattel Spinos up until this point. I would say that this might be my second favorite, very close to my favorite overall. The coloration of this one is far better than the first Extreme Damage Spinosaurus, so it is cool to have the Extreme Damage Spinosaurus getting another release, but also being superior, in my opinion, to the previous version. The Albertosaurus definitely looks okay, but it doesn't really look all that great. There's not much paint application to it, like it's basically just like one dark tone with some weird white on it, and a little bit of an alternate tone of color for the lower jaw, and then of course a slit on the leg, but it looks okay. That's one figure I think might be something needed to see in person to truly tell how nice or how not so nice it is. But the Atrociraptor definitely looks nice. I really quite like the Atrociraptor. The coloration looks really good, and the extreme damage feature is just an added fun extra. So as of right now, guys, that's all the news I've got. When more comes out, I'll be sure to send it your way. But until then, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.